What up, ladies and gentlemen? I hope you're having a good day, and I most certainly hope you are having a great week. Listen, man, if you think that F-Bomb, Mr. Paul Feinbaum of the SEC Talking Heads, if you think he's right for disrespecting Coach Prime by calling him an industry-created celebrity coach, or everything he did last year was illegitimate and he's not a great coach, blah, blah, blah. If you think that guy is right for disrespecting Coach Prime, then you are a sad person and your head needs to be examined. That's just how I feel about that. But guess what, man? That was the last video. You can go check that video out. But this here video, guys, I want to talk to you about the starting quarterbacks of the Big 12. They've been ranked by my folk over there at the Buffalo's Wire, usatoday.com, and I want to give you that today while Travis Hunter goes fishing. I love fishing, man. I love fishing! But before I go fishing for information about the Big 12 quarterbacks, see what I did there? You see what I did there? Let Shedeur tell you our intro. Shedeur, tell them who we all around here.
BWB, bandwagon buffs.
That's right. It's your man's Harry Billion. Please do me a favor and smash that subscribe button. Make sure to give me the thumbs up. And don't forget to hit that bell notification so that you can get the videos as soon as I upload it to YouTube. All right, family, I got to go ahead and get into this video real quick, so that's all the business I got. You know what time it is. Let's work. All right, guys, so welcome back, okay? Hey, Travis Hunter, catch me one, okay? We're going to wish Travis Hunter well, not just in the ocean, but also on the field this year, as we go over to the Buffalo's Wire at usatoday.com to get this information about the Big 12 quarterbacks. Let's go. Ranking the Big 12 starting quarterbacks from worst to first heading into 2024. Who wrote this one, guys? Who wrote this one? Who is this? Tony Casolo! What up, Tony? Hope all is well, brother, over there in the mountains. Tony, I hope you got something good for me, man. It's been a while since I got something from the Buffalo's Wire, my favorite news outlet. Let's go. Last season, the Pac-12 Conference boasted some of college football's best starting quarterbacks, including Colorado's Shedeur Sanders, USC's Caleb Williams, Washington's Michael Penix Jr., and Oregon's Bo Nix were all first-round picks in April's NFL draft, and that's before we talk about talent such as Cam Ward and DJ Uiagalelei, who each transferred earlier this offseason. While Colorado has moved back to the Big 12 Conference, the Buffs won't be reprieved regarding the level of quarterbacks they'll face. ESPN college football analyst Greg McElroy recently ranked the nation's top 10 QBs, and 4 of his picks were from the Big 12, which was tied with the SEC for the most of any conference in the rankings. With the 2024 season looming, here's my attempt at ranking the Big 12 starting QBs from worst to first. Remember, it's called Big 12, which should be 12 teams, but we have 16 teams in the Big 12. At number 16, guys, being the worst, we have Sam Levitt, Trenton Berger, Jeff Sims, and they're all from the Arizona State Sun Devils. Arizona State had a tumultuous season at the quarterback position in 2023, with 3 players getting snaps due to injuries and poor play. Trenton Berger got most of the playing time, throwing for 1,486 yards, 1 touchdown, and 4 interceptions. He will compete against incoming transfers Jeff Sims and Sam Levitt. Levitt has the most upside, coming to ASU via Michigan State as a former 4-star prospect. Coming in at number 15, we have Jerry Bohannon and Jake Reslef from BYU Cougars. BYU coaches have yet to announce a winner in the competition between holdover Jake Reslef and USF transfer Jerry Bohannon. Reslef got playing time in 2023 with the Cougars and was up and down, throwing for 648 yards and completing 50.4% of his passes to go along with 3 touchdowns and 3 interceptions. Bohannon did not see the field in 2023, but has starting experience. His best season came at Baylor in 2021 when he passed for 2,200 yards and 18 touchdowns while adding another 9 TDs on the ground. Coming in at our number 14 spot is going to be Braden Sorsby and Brady Lynch Lichtenberg from the Cincinnati Bearcats. Indiana transfer Braden Swersby probably has the inside edge over Bearcats holdover Brady Lichtenberg, mainly due to his play last season with the Hoosiers. Swersby needs to be more efficient with his completion percentage, posting a 57.2% mark on 238 attempts in 2023, but he did have a solid touchdown to interception ratio, throwing 15 TDs to only 5 interceptions. Lichtenberg saw minimal playing time in relief of Emory Jones last season, completing 19 of his 34 passes with 2 TDs to his name. And coming in at number 13, we have Alan Bowman from the Oklahoma State Cowboys. Entering year 7 in college football. Read that again, Harry B. Did you just read entering year 7? Entering year 7 in college football. You know what you're going to get from Alan Bowman. Bowman has bounced around the country, playing 3 years at Texas Tech and 2 on the sidelines for the Michigan Wolverines before finally landing with the Oklahoma State Cowboys. While his yardage totals were good last season, 3,460 passing, he only threw 15 touchdowns to 14 interceptions. The Cowboys have 247 Sports composite 4-star QB Garrett Rangel waiting in the wings if they decide to go in another direction. Moving down to our number 12 player, that's Avery Johnson from the Kansas State Wildcats. If you were ranking purely based on hair, it would be hard not to put Avery Johnson at the top of the list. But as far as QB play, we mostly saw Johnson's running skills in 2023. I see what you're doing, Tony. I see what you're doing, Tony. It's poetry in motion, baby. Let's go. He rushed the ball 52 times for 296 yards and 7 touchdowns to only 66 passing attempts in relief of starter Will Howard. With Howard moving on to Ohio State, Johnson is the presumptive starter and must show that he can direct the offense full time. We're moving in from the worst to the best, guys. At number 11, we have Baron Morton from the Texas Tech Red Raiders. Baron Morton split time with Tyler Shuff the past 2 seasons at Texas Tech, but enters 2024 as the full-time starter now that Shuff has transferred to Louisville. The former 4-star recruit started the final 5 games for the Red Raiders in 2023 and completed 62.1% of his passes for 1,754 yards with 15 TDs and 8 picks. Can Morton become the first Texas Tech QB to start every game in a season since Patrick Mahomes accomplished the feat in 2016? Not defeat, but the feat. Okay. Come on, Harry B. Moving on to number 10. That's Josh Hoover from TCU Horned Frogs. Last year was a down season for TCU after the Horned Frogs made a run to the national title game the year prior. It was not all bad, though, as the team looked to the future in giving freshman Josh Hoover an opportunity. Hoover held his own with his first taste of college football, playing in 10 games while throwing for 2,206 yards with 15 touchdowns and 9 interceptions. If TCU wants to get back where it was in 2022, Hoover will have to take a big step in his development. Our 9th quarterback in the worst to the best quarterbacks in the Big 12 is going to be Daquan Finn from the Baylor Bears. Daquan Finn brings a wealth of starting experience to the Baylor Bears, having played in 45 games for the Toledo Rockets over the past 5 seasons. Finn has thrown for 7,074 yards while throwing 63 touchdowns and 23 interceptions. He can also use his legs to hurt a defense, rushing for 1,840 yards with 25 TDs on the ground. Baylor desperately needs a playmaker at the position, and if Finn can play well at the Power 4 level, the Bears could win a few games. And I really hope it's not against CU. You understand what I'm saying? Yes, sir. Going all the way down from the top, the worst, to now at number 8, Donovan Smith from the Houston Cougars. That's where Ultimate Casco used to play. No longer with the Buffs, though. Anyways, the Houston Cougars were not a good team in 2023, but Donovan Smith performed well given the team's performance around him. Smith has dual threat elements to his game, throwing for 2,801 yards while adding 428 on the ground and compiling 28 total touchdowns. If Smith is healthy after undergoing labrum surgery in the offseason, he's expected to recover fully before the start of the season. Then he could make a play at being a top Big 12 quarterback. Until then, he's still gonna be number 8. Okay? I love it. I love my job. Can you tell that I love my job? Hit that subscribe button to help a brother out. Come on, guys. Help me out, okay? Grow this channel, please. At number 7 from our worst to best QBs in the Big 12 is going to be Garrett Green from the West Virginia Mountaineers. And I won't hold you guys. My family and I drove to West Virginia one summer. Bruh. First of all, the altitude, the height in those mountains, that drive from New York to West Virginia, bruh, I do not wish that on the worst Deion Sanders haters there is out there, okay? Not even the Butters, bruh. I don't even wish that on the Butters. You know who I'm talking about, okay? Put it in the comments if you get to this part and you know who I'm talking about, you Butters. Garrett Green is entering his 5th season at West Virginia and is a dark horse to make these rankings look bad if he becomes the player that most expect him to be in 2024. Green played in 12 games last season, throwing for 2,406 yards and rushing for 772 while putting the ball into the end zone 29 times, including an eye-popping 13 of the Russian variety. Guys, we are almost there. We are at number 6 from the worst to the best of the starting QBs in the Big 12. At number 6 is going to be Rocco Becht, and that's the Iowa State Cyclones. All right, Rocco, rock on, brother. What's the skinny, Tony? Rocco Becht looked impressive during his first stint as a starting QB at the college level, earning Big 12 Offensive Freshman of the Year in 2023. Becht is more of a traditional quarterback who can pick you apart with his arm, hitting on 63% of his 367 passes last season for 3,120 yards and 23 touchdowns. Moving on to our number 5 QB is KJ Jefferson from the UCF Knights. Remember these quarterbacks' names? We are learning these quarterbacks as we go. This is Big 12 information. You know what I'm saying? This is how we learn about the competition, the Big 12. I do these videos to give you insight. Put that TLP spy cam on the competition so that we can learn who's out there, what the competition is going to be like. These companies like the Buffalo's Wired, the Tony Casellos, the Jeff Carlos, and the Mats, the Athlon Sports with Kevin Borba. These people do research to give us insight about the other side. You know what I'm saying? So don't just see this as a quarterback ranking. Read between the lines, get some real data in there so that you can learn a lot more about the Big 12. A quarterback who plays more like a fullback at times, KJ Jefferson comes to UCF after playing 5 seasons with the Arkansas Razorbacks. Sporting a 245-pound frame, Jefferson isn't afraid to lower his shoulder in short yardage situations, but he also sports a live arm that has produced 7,911 career passing yards. Moving on to number 4, we got Noah Fafita from the Arizona Wildcats. Standing at 5'11" and just under 200 pounds, Noah Fafita does not sport a traditional quarterback build, but with the way he played in 2023, that doesn't matter. After taking over for Jaden DeLaura, Fafita helped power the Wildcats to a 10-3 season, including an Alamo Bowl victory over the Oklahoma Sooners. Fafita was incredibly efficient last season, completing 72.4% of his passes for 2,869 yards and 25 touchdowns while throwing only 6 interceptions. Yeah, Fafita did do his thing last year, I must say, but it was under different leadership, and I don't think he's going to produce the same way. He's going to do well, though, but it ain't going to be the same, bro. Trust me. Moving down to number 3, and I don't know if they're going to call him Halone Daniels or Jalon Daniels. You guys help me out over there. If you know the Kansas Jayhawks, please help me in the comments, all right? Just put number 1 for Jalon Daniels, if that's what they call him, or put a number 2 in the comments if his name is Halone Daniels, okay? For the sake of the proper reading on this, I'm going to say Halone Daniels, but if it's Jalon, then I'll look for that information, okay? The talent is there when it comes to Halone Daniels, but but it's simply a matter of whether he can stay healthy for a full season. Daniels can move the ball with his legs or arms, and is especially dangerous once he gets into the open field. However, that playing style has led to frequent injuries. If he can stay healthy for a full season, then Daniels can push further up these rankings during the season. All right, Tony, listen, man, just drop me a DM when you about to re-rank these guys, okay? Let a brother know. I need the content, brother. Appreciate it. We are now at number 2. So if we are at number 2, this is the runner-up. Guess who the winner is? I want you to go ahead and put in the comments. Let me know who you think the winner is, okay? Let me know who you think number 1 is as I read number 2. At number 2, from the worst to the best QBs, the starting QBs, that is, from the Big 12 conference, we got Cam Rising from the Utah Utes. And Utah is being ranked as the number 1 team in the Big 12, but not their quarterbacks, though. Anyway, speaking of injuries, Cam Rising was lost for the entire 2023 season, and it impacted what the Utah Utes accomplished on offense. After averaging 38.64 points a game in 2022, that total dropped to 23.15 in 2023 with Rising on the sidelines. Utah is a threat to win the Big 12 if Rising is healthy and playing to the standard that previously had him running the Pac-12. All right, we'll see about that. There's a new sheriff in town, you know what I'm saying? Ooh-wee. The enforcers are here. Dun, dun, dun. At number 1, from the worst to the best QBs in the Big 12 conference, we got Shedeur Sanders from the Colorado Buffaloes. Let me hear a yay. Put that in the comments. Put some hand claps, some fire emojis. What's the skinny on this guy? After transferring from Jackson State to Colorado, Shedeur Sanders burst onto the scene in his first Power 5 game, upsetting the ranked TCU Horned Frogs and throwing for a school record 510 yards. Sanders was the main focal point of the Buffaloes' attack last season, even while facing a pass rush on almost every dropback due to spotty offensive line play. With an improved offensive line heading into next season, Sanders could play his way into being a high first draft pick in the 2025 NFL draft. So listen, man, go to the comments, guys, and let me know what you think about the rankings. Do you think Tony Casolo did a good job, or do you think he was partial because he's friendly media? So let me know if you think the quarterbacks should be rearranged. Maybe you think Cam Ward should be number 1. Let me know what you think about the quarterbacks ranking. I don't think Shedeur is just the top quarterback in the Big 12. I believe here at TLP Sports Club that Shedeur Sanders is the number 1 quarterback in college football this year. There were a lot of great quarterbacks in the Pac-12 last year. I think when people think about quarterbacks and the way that they're ranked quarterbacks, I think they're leaning more on the team play. You know what I'm saying? They're leaning more on wins and losses and not necessarily the mechanics and the thinking and the ability of the actual quarterback. If you're going to add your bias of a team winning to how quarterbacks are rated, then you're not a good participant in this category of ranking quarterbacks, because quarterback play is not necessarily indicative of how a team wins, even though it plays a major part in winning. But a quarterback can be a decent quarterback and they can have a great offensive line, they can have a great defensive line, and that team can win. If you take Florida State, for example, Florida State had a good quarterback, probably not the best quarterback in the nation, but it had a really decent quarterback. But guess what? They had one of the best defenses in all of college football, and they went 13-0 for a reason. Teams don't necessarily have to have the best quarterback as long as the team as a whole is a good team. Everybody doing their job, everybody playing very well, that team will be a winning team. So when you're judging quarterbacks, just understand that it's not just about team winning. That's the mistake that a lot of y'all are going to make, because the first thing you're going to think is, oh, we're going straight to the SEC. He ain't better than this person. He ain't better than that person. And if your argument is just based on wins and losses, and if your team is winning, then the quarterback must be great, that's not how you do this. All right, guys. Well, with that being said, I'm going to go ahead and leave it right there. I'll see you. Get it? See you on the next video. Okay.